everybody, my name is Cathy. I'm a friend of Miranda's and she's invited me along today to do something really cool with you. We're gonna bake chocolate chip banana muffins together. It's a really simple, easy, fun recipe to do, and it works really well if you've got some bananas that are starting to go brown in the house and nobody wants to eat them. But really ripe bananas are really good for baking because they're sweet, so that means you get a lot of natural sugar. You don't need to add a lot of sugar to your baking. Okay, so to start, some of the stuff you'll need. A whisk if you have it, if not, a fork works just fine. An ice cream scoop if you have it, if not, a spoon works just fine, and a spatula. And if you don't have anything, use your spoon, it's totally cool. Your cupcake tray, this recipe makes about 12 muffins. So you need your muffin pan and you can line it with these muffin liners. If you don't have these, it's totally cool. You don't actually need them. You can just put some butter inside each one of these. And then dust a little bit of flour in there just so that nothing sticks to it. So your ingredients, you're gonna need mashed up bananas. I've got 2 large bananas mashed up here. If you have large bananas, use 2. If you have smaller bananas, you can use 3. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1.5 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of sugar. You can use a little bit more or a little bit less depending on how sweet you like your cupcakes or muffins, but I would suggest using less because again, the bananas are pretty sweet. 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, 1/2 cup of vegetable or canola oil. If you don't have vegetable or canola, use what you have as long as it's got a really mild taste to it. Like don't use something like olive oil because it kind of mucks around with the flavor and you don't really want to get into that. A teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 2 eggs. I broke the yolk. Sometimes that happens to the best bakers, so it's totally cool if you break yolks. Have fun with it. All right. So let's get started. So I've already mashed up my bananas. So everything is ready to go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in my eggs. And I'm gonna add in about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Let me get my teaspoon here. I'm just gonna drop that in like that. And then with our whisk, we're just gonna mix it all together. Okay, so your bananas are gonna be a little bit clumpy here, and that's okay. It actually tastes much better in the muffins anyhow. So you don't worry about mashing them up too much, it's okay. Okay, and then once that's all mixed up, we're gonna put in our flour, just like that. Our sugar, our vegetable oil, salt, baking soda, and then we're just going to start mixing. And it's all going to mix together nicely. And at this point, it starts to get kind of thick, but that's okay because you're going to use all the muscles that you have built working out with Miranda and Ibrahim. See, this is why it's important to eat healthy and exercise so that you can be big and strong to do this kind of stuff. Okay? So once it's all just mixed together like that, we're going to tap all the extra off of our whisk. And then we're gonna pour in our chocolate chips. And we're gonna mix them in. And we're gonna make sure when we're mixing that we're going to the sides of the bowl and to the bottom so that all of the flour and the sugar and everything all gets mixed in and we don't miss anything. So you're gonna mix that all up nicely until it's all incorporated. All right, let's get a plate here. All right, now this is where the fun part comes in. We're gonna take our ice cream scoop or a spoon, depending on what you have. So if you're using a spoon, you're gonna have to do a few spoonfuls just to fill these up. And we're gonna fill each one. Really simple. And this could get a little bit messy, but that's okay. That's the fun part. You make a mess, you clean it up. Simple. And you drop everything in. This is a really fast, easy recipe. And then you can make a whole bunch. And if you don't want to eat them all at once, because it might be a little bit too much to eat all at once, you can wrap them up in some foil paper, or you can put them in a Ziploc bag if you have any, and then you just put them in the freezer, and then you can take them out bit by bit to thaw. And then once they defrost, you can either warm them up if you want, or you can just eat them at room temperature, and they're really, really good. And then you can keep them in the freezer for like, I don't know, up to 6 months maybe. But I mean, nothing sweet ever lasts that long in my house. So, oh, look at that, man. I made a huge mess right there. It's all right. That's the fun part. Cleaning it all up and licking the bowl afterward. So you're going to see some chunks of banana. You're going to see some chunks of your chocolate chips in all of this. And it's all the good stuff. And the cool thing about this is while you're baking it, your house smells so good. So you're going to scrape all that goodness up. Okay, there you go. You got about 12. So I made these kind of lopsided and worked because, you know, some of them are going to be bigger than others, but it's okay. Go for the big ones when you're eating them. Okay, so this is what they look like in the pan. I really filled them up, but it's okay. They grow a little bit bigger. They'll rise in the oven, and they're so delicious. So then what you want to do is you got your oven in the center rack, okay, right in the middle of the oven, and you're going to get an adult because it's going to be really hot. And you're not going to do this yourself, but you're going to get an adult or someone older than you to put these into the hot oven, again, 350 degrees. And you're going to bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes. And that's it. Once you pull them out of the oven, you eat them warm. They're so good. And again, whatever you have left over, you can just pop them into the freezer and then you can eat them for a snack anytime you like. Have fun, MJKO family. Enjoy baking. Bye.